So we headed home, and I want to walk you guys through the details of how I was able to pay off the house so quick, 2.5 years. We did the initial video where we talked about how we paid it off. Then we did the video where we actually walked you through the specific trades. So if you haven't seen those videos, go watch video 1, then video number 2. What I want to talk about today is, like, most people don't understand what an option is. So some of the comments we got on the video was like, I watched it, I still don't understand how you paid off your house, or how can I do something very similar? So let's go in the back, let's hang out, let's talk about it. Let's break down what we did, how we did it, and more importantly, I think how you can do something similar, because I think that's what people really want to know. It's a great day to talk personal finance. So let's break down part 3. All right, most people don't understand what is options, or maybe it's your first time meeting, you don't understand what I do. So first of all, it wasn't any luck involved. It wasn't like, oh, I just woke up, I'm gonna trade stocks, I got a hot stock tip, and let me see if I can make some money. So I've been trading stocks since I was 18 years old. So I've been in the stock market, trading stocks or options in some way, shape, or form for 22 years, okay? And then I've been teaching here at Power Trades University, which is our online university, for the last 5+ years, all right? And so what is a stock option, first of all right? Basically, what we do is we look for stocks that we believe are gonna move. So what we teach our students is we look for what we call the PRP, and that's the predictable, repeatable pattern. So if you look at a stock chart, we'll pop up a stock chart here of DocuSign, which was the stock that we did the trade on. We saw the predictable, repeatable pattern. So the stock's doing what we call a channel. It's a channeling stock. So it's channeling in between 2 price points. We recognize that pattern. And so instead of buying the stock, I ended up buying the option. So most people know, like, oh, invest in stock, go buy the stock. Well, the difference between buying the stock and buying the option is when you buy the stock, you actually own a piece of the company. And so an option contract controls 100 shares. So the fact that I had 200 option contracts meant that I was controlling about 20,000 shares. Now, if you're controlling 20,000 shares, that cost me about $200,000. But if I were to actually own and buy the specific stock, I would have had to have something astronomical, right? But I was able to take a fraction of that, which was 200,000, and I placed the option trade, and I was able to make 400,000. Now, without getting too technical, instead of owning the stock, I controlled the stock with options, which means I had the right to buy the stock. However, I didn't want to buy the stock. I just wanted to take advantage of the price movement. So that's what gave us the confidence to put that much money into the trade. Because some people say, well, how did you know to put 200,000 in the trade? Were you nervous? Number one, again, I've been doing this for a long time. Number 2, we saw what we teach, which is the predictable, repeatable pattern. Number 3, we had a stock that was in the similar industry show its cards, show what it could and would do because of the pandemic after the reported earnings. So we had all these reasons to believe why this stock would perform similarly. And so that's what's really important about this game, is that, number 1, understanding how to do fundamental research and how to research the sectors and the industries and other stocks that are in it. Number 2, the ability to identify predictable, repeatable patterns, which is what we teach in our course and which is what we go over with our members every Monday. And then number 3, understanding the right strategy to apply, which for us was buying the option versus buying the stock, so that we could literally maximize that return. And so when I put the 200,000 in, it shot up, we closed it out, brought home $600,000, of which $400,000 were profit. So most people would be like, well, won't you keep trading? And the reality of things is that you have to be financially intelligent. And what do I mean by that? If you know anything about a house, if you run your mortgage out over 30 years, typically the average American pays double for their house. The average American pays double for their house, okay? If I just made about 200% return from the stock market and made $400,000, well, if I now take that and pay off my house, it's almost like I just made another $300,000 to $400,000, because that's $300,000 to $400,000 that I saved that I won't be paying to the bank in interest. So really, I just like doubled my investment again. And then here's the thing though, if I ever wanted to pull that money back out, I could. See, what most people don't understand is once you pay off something like your house, you can play the bank to yourself. Why? Because at any given time, if I wanted to pull that $400,000 or whatever it was that I paid off, but the house was worth more than that, but that's just what was left on the balance. But if I ever wanted to pull that out, all I could do, I could just go to the bank and just get a mortgage on my house, or I can do a home equity line of credit. So people think like, well, if I pay it off, that money's gone. It's really not gone. I just did what's called a wealth transfer. I took the cash, I transferred it to a house, I reduced paying interest, I reduced paying double the amount over 30 years, and I still have the opportunity, if I need the money, I could go pull a home equity line of credit out of this asset because the house has value, the land has value, the neighborhood is in has value, living on the lake has value. So it's not like it'll just go to zero. It'll always have a certain amount of value because it has a certain amount of desirability and people always need a place to live. So I could technically pull that money out if I A, hit hard times, or B, just wanted to, I needed more money for a different investment. I could pull it out and still invest it. And that's where being financially literate comes into place. Most people think the game is just about trading stocks and making money and that's it. But it's like you got to look at the whole picture. How do you take the money you have and leverage it to get the best return? Once you get the best return, what do you do with that money to make sure that you can double down on it like I did and not pay double for a house, but reverse that and remove double interest over 30 years off? And then I put myself in a position where I still have opportunity. That's being financial literate. And that's putting yourself in a position where you got an asset you can pass down to your kids. If you marry and you pass away, you already set your family up because it's like, y'all can stay here as long as y'all take care of the taxes. If you wanted to open a restaurant or go into a business, they typically ask you, what type of collateral do you have? You can say, boom. They usually say, is your house paid for, right? So you can put your house up as collateral, which really means instead of putting the money up as collateral for your business, you can put your house up as collateral, but here's what's so cool about it. You still get to live in the house. It's like if I just took my money and put it up as collateral, like they hold in there, I don't get to enjoy it. But if I put my house up as collateral, I still get to stay in the house while it's being used as collateral while I fund another business venture. Think about that. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about being financially literate. And so that's how we paid off the house. Literally, we did a stock option trade. We did some fundamental research. We did some technical research by looking at the charts. We applied the correct strategy. And then we took that strategy and we do what I like to tell our members is send the money out and do something to change your real physical life, because that's what we're investing in the stock market for. We're not investing in it just to see numbers go up and down on a piece of paper. We're investing in it so that we change our financial future, that we literally change our physical living life. It's no fun just to see numbers go up and down the paper, but it's not changing your life. You don't get to live in the house you want, drive the car you want, send your kids to the school you want, donate to your churches, your charity, your community. That's what this is all about. So if you're watching this and you're like, how can I do the same? Number one, you need to learn how the stock market works. Number two, you need to learn the best time to buy and sell. Number three, you need to learn how to apply the correct strategy. And then last but not least, I know someone's gonna say, well, how did you even get the $200,000 to put into the trade? Just know wherever you're at, you might not have had $200,000 like me. I run a business. If you know a little bit about my story, I was working in commission sales for a major cable company. I was also working for a cell phone company. Even before that, I had took a $10,000 student loan and turned it into $100,000 when I was about 21 years old, when I was in college. The bottom line is, here's the bottom line. There's a ton of ways to get the money once you have the skill mastered. Most people make the fatal mistake. They won't go learn the skill because they'll say, well, I don't have any money to invest. It's like, no. you don't have any money to invest because you don't know the skill. Because if you have the skill, you'll borrow the money, you'll put your house up for collateral, you'll downgrade your house so that you could have extra monthly income coming in to put into the machine once you master the skill. So mastering the skill is the key to making more money. Not, because if you think about it, why do most lottery winners go broke? Why aren't more lottery winners multimillionaires? Most lottery winners, different people like that who come into an inheritance, they usually blow the cash or they end up broke in, I think they say something like 2 to 5 years. They're either broke or in a worse position than when they won or inherited the money. Why is that? They got the money, shouldn't they be rich? Shouldn't they continue to be rich? No. They never got the financial education. They never got the knowledge of not only how the stock market works, but how money works. And so if you're sitting there like, well, how do I get the money to get in that game? You're asking the wrong question. You need to be asking, how do I get the knowledge from that game? And once you got the knowledge, you're gonna see a ton of ways to get the money to put into the game. But right now, you're not willing to exercise those alternative ways to get the money because you don't believe you can make it, because you don't have the knowledge. See, I had the knowledge and I knew what I could do with it. So therefore I had the belief to put $200,000 quote unquote at risk, but it wasn't really risky to me because I saw the pattern, I researched fundamentals, I also researched the sector and the industry, and I had a comparative stock and I saw what it could do. And so for me, the risk was down here. But if you, without the knowledge, do it, the risk is way up here. You don't know why you did it, you don't know how to fix it if it go wrong, and then when it goes right, unfortunately, most of you look at it as gambling when it goes right, and it is gambling when you don't know what you're doing and when you just got lucky, like most people do. So get the knowledge, get the information, and then figure out how to change your real life and change your family's tree. So that's literally how we paid off the house, how we live where we live, how we're sitting on a 6,000 square foot house on the lake with a hot tub, with a beach for my kids to play on. And that's not bragging, but if you from where I'm from, which we'll do a video, maybe we'll go down to my neighborhood and you can see where we come from. We come from a place where it's bars on the windows. It was shootings in the neighborhood. We used to have to sleep on the floor in case a bullet came through the window. You know, dope houses on the street. And so, yes, I'm proud of where we're at, but now I'm proud on another level because it's solidified, it's paid for, we ain't going nowhere. This ain't temporary. And we didn't use our labor to get here or our labor to pay for it. We use our mind and our money to work for it to pay here. So I hope that was really helpful for you. And again, if I could tell you to do anything, is get the knowledge, get the information. If this was helpful for you, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, let me know in the comments.